What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Tyler Swear. Today I have I think about a short little video tutorial to show off a really cool piece of software that I've been using for the last couple months or so. It is called the Texture Mill. So the Texture Mill is basically what it kind of sounds like. If you are a 3D artist of any type, Texture Mill is a really cool software that you can use to input textures at a really quick rate. Um, it was uh, it was developed about I think a little less than a year ago, and so far I've been really enjoying it because it's just a fast and easy way just to get textures in and out, and there's a lot of creative freedom behind it as well, so you can edit the images yourself and do what you will with them. Just a little quick background on the Texture Mill. It's a subscription-based software, but you can use it for free. And you have at least 30 images on the free version, so you get about 30 images a month, and that refreshes every month. So if you use up all 30 of your images, you're gonna have to do with what you have to make do with what you have of those 30 images until the next month. Um, so I'm not gonna go too in detail with just textures and um, the texturing process. More or less, I'm just gonna show you how the quick and dirty way of how this software works. So I'm gonna be using Maya, and I'm not sure if I'll have enough texture count to show you how to use it with Blender. But for now, I'll stick with Maya, and I hope you guys enjoy what you see. And for that, let's pretty much just get started with it. All right, let me open up Maya real quick. All right. So here we have just a little picnic slash. I guess it's just more of just a small little scene of just really basic basic models. So these have all been UV mapped and everything already. So if you're gonna go out and do this, you're gonna have to just make sure that all your maps you've been UV'd, and yeah, pretty much that's the nature of texturing process anyways. But I'm not going to be talking about the texturing process. I'm going to be talking about how the texture mill can be implemented into your pipeline. So as you can see, we have an all Lambert scene. So I'm just going to be using my material X's for now, and just kind of show you how fast that you can get textures in. And the fact that they're all tileable makes it even easier yet. So if you are like, I like these textures, but are they even tileable? Yes, they are. So, and once again, if they're not tiled to your liking, you can always take it back into Photoshop and edit them in there, and then get them exactly how you want. All right, so let's just start with this base, this little base plane here we have here. So I'm going to make this my material X, and just so it doesn't wig out me, just make sure that mental ray is selected. Not that I'm going to be rendering anything right now, it's just to show you guys what's going on. Alright, so I'm thinking for just this plane, we could add in, we have a couple options. We can add in carpet, we can add in wood, yeah, you name it. So let's open up Texture Mill. First, you're going to go over to so if you're using a Lambert or even a Maya Material X, you can go over to the color node and then just select File. And if you have Texture Mill enabled, it'll show up here. But if you don't have it enabled, we'll go to Window. We'll go to Settings and Preferences, Plugin Manager, and then we'll scroll all the way to the bottom. And then you should see Texture Mill in here. So I already have it loaded, but you're going to want to check these and just refresh and close. So with that said, let's go back to this plane and see we have the Texture Mill button. So let's click this and it'll open up the Texture Mill. So I have to log in, and I will not show you guys my password. Of course, it helps to have caps lock off. Alright, So, like I was saying, we want a kind of a wood textured bottom here, but just to show you kind of this little interface that the texture mill has, we have, I mean, right here, I don't think you'll see that oil and pressure will be really handy for us, but maybe I wanted a brick texture. So I can come in here and look at the different brick designs that we can choose from. And if I decide, hey, I want to use these, what I would do is just add to current texture. So as soon as I find out what exactly I want, I can add to current texture and it will add it into Maya. But just so I don't use up all of my resources, I've already used 17 of the 30 just to kind of play around for this tutorial. Okay, so let's see. Let's like I was saying, let's make a wood floor. We'll go all the way down to wood. We'll go to raw stock. One piece of wood that I found, actually, I think I used weathered wood the first time around on this. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's all up to your creative freedom. I'm just showing you how fast and easy they can do to just get different textures in at any given time. Alright, so yeah, I'm not liking any of these for the bottom piece. Let's pull in. I'm looking for something that's almost fence-like, but not too much. Alright. Here we go. This would be, I feel like this one would work really well. So, if you're not liking the color or the certain types, instead of taking it into Photoshop, you have options to edit these textures all right here. So if I want to raise up the brightness and contrast, I can adjust those. I can also adjust the hue, saturation to whatever I like, the levels as well. So if you're just not liking the current color palette that it may not fit with your scene or whatever, you can always adjust it. And if you're like, well, I didn't want to make that adjustment, I can always just reset to normal. Alright, so I'm going to add this to my current texture. So as you can see, it's working and it's going to put itself into Maya, as you can see right there. And I'll bring up the hypershade just to prove that it's working, and then I'll put this into textured mode. Alright. And here's the hypershade, graph this network, and you can see that the texture itself that we got from Texture Mill was directly put into Maya. So it's a nice little handy plug-in to just kind of get that. So once again, these textures are tiled. So if you want and you're looking at this, you're like, well, that is way too big for my scene. So you can always just make small little adjustments, such as going to the place 2D texture, and we'll just raise up the repeat to, let's say, 5. And let's get that. Alright, so maybe that's a little too much, and we'll take it down to 3. Maybe 4 then. Yeah, 4 is about right. So, I mean, obviously this is, it's just a basic scene. I'm not going for complete, correct, artistic accuracy here. I'm just kind of showing you, once again, how to get the quick and dirty way of getting these textures in. So, as you can see, I don't really have any bump or anything added to it. So if you need, you can always, like I said, you can always edit these textures, bring them into a bitmap generator, such as like, I can't remember the name of it. I use a program called MindText, but there's a tons of bitmap generators out there to get your normal maps, spec maps, and ambient occlusion and whatnot. So just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just showing you guys how to get it in here. So once again, we have that texture, and it came in really nicely, actually. So let's keep going with this. So let's take these pillows. Now these pillows aren't the best UV mapped or anything, so just bear with me. There will probably be some seams, but that's not the point. Is if you have a good UV layout, it'll actually work really nice. And actually, I'm going to avoid these pillows for now, just so I can show you a nice look. I'll work on this desk for now. Alright, so let's once again, I'm making another Maya Material X for Mental Ray. I'll just name this just name this table. It doesn't really matter. Once again, you can add this to a Lambert. You can add this to whatever texture map. I'm just using my Material X's just for mental ray's sake. Because I've been using a lot of mental ray lately, and it just works with my workflow. It's all about your workflow, guys. And when you're using this software, it's completely about your workflow. All right. So once again, file, and then we're going to pull up the texture mill. And I chose something earlier, and I really liked it because it kind of has this Japanese kind of style layout here. You have the pillows and the desk and whatnot. So I am going to, I saw it earlier. Actually, I used it earlier. Here we go. I believe I used this Asian tan wood. So it kind of fits the style that I'm going for as far as this table goes. So I'm going to add this in as well. All right, so you can see that was added in nicely. And once again, if I don't like the size that is provided with the texture mill, I can always just come back into the hypershade. And where did I put my hypershade? Here we go. I can always come back into the hypershade, graph that network, come to the 2D, place 2D texture, and let's just take that up to 2, and let's see how it looks. Let's go down to about 1.5. Yeah, that's about right. So, you know, once again, if you pull in a bump map, spec map, you probably get a little bit more accurate texture than what we have here now. But I'm going to show something that's actually pretty interesting, like I was saying about the texture mill, is the ability to change the color and the contrast and all the different levels within the color that's been provided by the texture mill. So once again, I'm going to take this tabletop, and I'm going to once again add another my Material X. So I'll just name it tabletop, and then come back into color, add another file, texture mill. So since we already have this up, I'm just going to adjust some of the brightness, contrast. Let's maybe change the levels up a little bit. And I'm not going to mess too much with hue and saturation. You know, wood is wood. I don't really need a pink wood, but I guess if you wanted to, you could. So there you go. Let's maybe add. It's good where it's at. Okay. All right. So once again, we want to add this to our current texture. And as you can see, as the more textures that you use, the more your count will go up. So what I found that if you just edit image and just kind of save it, you can reuse that texture. But once again, it's all about also supporting the texture mill itself, because I know there are many other feature updates that are going to be coming soon that will really make this software shine even more. So once again, just always watch your image count. If you're a paid user, you'll get much more. I think it's somewhere between 150 or something like that. You can always upgrade right there. But anyways, just saying, this is the image count up here. So once again, if I don't like the size of the texture, just come back into the hypershade. Go to tabletop, just adjust it, and there you go. So that way you get a nice little contrast in color here with the regular table and the top of the table. And let's just keep moving along, and I'm actually just gonna, now that you can kind of see, I'm just gonna add a bunch of more textures into these, and then you guys can play with it as you will. Yeah, and once again, there's a lot of possibilities with the texture mill. You have to get all these different textures. So once again, I'll come over here to the pillow, my Material X, file, texture mill, and I'm going to find a fabric of some type. I found one that worked. Yeah, it was the brown and white. striped. And I'm going to adjust the levels just a little bit because it's just a little bit too desaturated for my taste. It also has to do with my monitor. My monitor is not the most color depth monitor. Alright. So there you go. And once again, as you can see, you might have to adjust. I find myself adjusting the Place 2D textures quite a bit. I guarantee that'll come with change. You'll be able to change that sometime in the future. But for now, I just use the Place 2D texture, and it a lot of times will fizz that out. And once again, it also depends on your UV maps. So these UV maps weren't the best. As you can see, I got some seams here, but the point is that you have these textures. And then instead of having to make another one, I'll just add that current material to that pillow. And then I'm just going to keep moving along here. And I found that there was a metal texture that I really liked for this guy. Even though it's not really metal, it worked. So I think it was this. Yep, it was this guy. I'm going to adjust the levels again. See if I can get a little. There we go. Pull up the contrast just a bit, and I'll add that to the current texture. Alright, so there you can see, once again, added in that texture, and you put this through a bitmap generator, you'll get a really nice normal map in that as well. So actually I'll bring that in and select all of those. Whoops. No. There we go. Add those to the selection, and then boom, you have those all set. Same thing here. File, texture mill. Oh, looks like it might have crashed on me, but that's alright. Oh, I believe I actually closed it. That's probably why. That makes more sense. Did not crash on me at all. Okay. And for this one, we'll just get another wood texture, except let's go back to raw stock, see if we find any here that I like. Alright. I'd try this gold oak one, but we adjust the levels again. Take that down. Change the color balance. A little less reds. Give it a little bit more of a cool color. Okay. Alright, and there, as you see, once again, just, actually I think it was cylinder top. Goes to the current selection, and you know, just to avoid looking too likewise of each other, you can always adjust your normal maps, just bring them in over here, and then just kind of play with them. That way they're not always the same texture with whatever you're using. Okay. Now, once again, the color accuracy, I'm not going for a completely artistic, but as you can see, I'm running at close to 20 minutes here, and I'm just going to cut the video, I shouldn't say short because I went a little overtime compared to what I was planning on, but as you can see, just with just a little bit of time, actually even 20 minutes, you can see the 20 minutes I was able to get this whole scene practically done, just with the exception of like normal maps, spec maps. And you'll be looking at probably somewhere between like 30 to 40 minutes just to complete the scene. It will not take long at all, just to play around and tweak with some things just using the software and everything like that. Awesome. It's really an awesome software, and it really, if for interior design things and stuff like that, I find it very, very useful just to get just really quick and dirty textures on really flat surfaces you can see on the planes, and just really UV mapped, like well UV mapped stuff. So my stuff's not really a good example to go off of, but anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and go check out the Texture Mill. It's a really cool software. So thanks, guys.